How's it going, everybody? This is Rob of Novakast back with another podcast for you guys. This is episode 103. Wait, is it 103? I thought it was 104. No, it's 103. Okay. But we're going to have a lot of fun today, I think. Yeah, thank you, MJ. And happy 4th of July, everybody, by the way, before I forget. This is going to be interesting, to say the least. So with our podcast, looking at the topics on the docket, Steven Crowder versus Ethan Klein, Chris Hansen, Bill Cosby, and Lord of the Rings. In case people are confused about that one, we'll explain it in a little bit. Really excited to do this. I'm waiting for the rest of the crew to show on. I know MJ was coming on, at least last time I spoke with her. Don't know about Aden, but either way, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm really excited. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody's enjoying this 4th of July. All right. We'll pull up a random video while we wait for everybody. And by the way, there's been a lot of stuff to look at, or at least when it comes down to gaming and movies. Apparently, Don't Breathe is getting a sequel, which is odd. We're getting the director's cut for Ghost of Tsushima. Really excited for that. And yeah, some good stuff in the movie and the video game stuff. But anywho, waiting for everybody. Hello.
Oh, I didn't know. That's a weird name for me. Hold on, let me fix that.
565.
Yeah, no, I accidentally knocked my mouse and it landed on my keyboard, so it typed that and hit me in early.
What's with the profile pic? Is there a joke that I don't know of? That I'm.
There will be in a few seconds. There we go.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's her name.
What?
Yeah. Irina Yelovich, but they call her Professor Bitch.
What show is this?
Assassination Classroom.
Really?
I just started watching it this week, and it's so good. Even the movie's good.
Is this from the anime of that alien creepy motherfucker that has the tentacles?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. That was one I've been kind of curious about, but I've been kind of waiting on watching it.
I've been watching a lot of like how to beat like certain death games. Cinema Summary does a lot of those videos, and one of them was, Cinema Summary and Binge Express, I think, was the one that made the how to beat Koro Sensei in Assassination Classroom. And I was like, okay, I've never heard anything about it before. So I was like, all right, I'll just watch this video. And it was one of those cheesy, because it was a live action film they were talking about. And so I've just been seeing a lot of like live action animes, and they all have the same kind of like level of like CG. It has that kind of uncanny valley effect. But I started watching it, and then I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll just check out the anime if I can find it. And both seasons are on Funimation and the movie. And I just finished season 1 and just started season 2. But I'm really liking it so far. Basically, I'll just give you the premise, is that he's not an alien. He is from Earth. Basically, the government is allowing him to teach this junior high class. It's 3E, and E class is like the lowest of the low in terms of like class in school society. And
Yeah.
he blew up the moon. Or
What?
there was an explosion that destroyed 70% of the moon, and they have 1 year to kill him. And so the students are being taught how to kill him, and if they do it within the deadline, they will be paid 10 billion yen. And the deadline is March. I forgot the date in March specifically, but if they don't kill him by that time, then what happened to the moon will happen to Earth. So most of the world would be destroyed.
For some reason, like when you mentioned like the moon being destroyed, it got me thinking of freaking oh gosh,
Umbrella Academy.
No, I was gonna. Well, now that you say that, yes, but no, I was thinking for some reason I got like flashbacks of Gurren Lagann, where they were launching the moon at the Earth, but turns out it's a giant robot. Oh no! I mean that's made more apparent when it has like this, like as they're literally trying to stop the moon from crashing into the Earth. You have this jack-o'-lantern face start to appear on the moon's surface, and it's like, holy shit! It was a gunman this entire time. Badass ship, I should say. By the way,
the reason the reason why I started watching that show was because of the fact that the first method they said how to beat Koro Sensei was give him porn. And so I'm like,
what?
Okay, but yeah, in the show or in the anime and in the movie, there's a porn trap.
What?
Because he's a horny individual.
Well, he is a tentacle monster.
And he likes staring at Professor Bitch's boobs.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway. It's really good. I would recommend it.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I like just started season 2, but there's I think 50 episodes 47 episodes altogether.
Nice.
But since it's one of those school animes that, they kind of have to end sometime because it's not like, okay, we're still in the same term, 15 seasons in.
There's 15 seasons?
No. I'm just saying, like, because of the fact that that's a classroom anime or a school-based anime, that they can't keep making more and more seasons of it. Because it would be like, okay, those students have got to graduate sometime, But that's what I was saying. It's like, 15th term.
Turns out there's a time loop. They're basically stuck in hell.
That's actually the premise of a movie I watched recently. Oh, fuck. What was it called? King's Game.
Huh.
Where it's a death game where they're getting these text messages and it's kind of like they have to do these dares. And if they don't do it, their existence gets erased. And then it gets down till there's one. And then the person who won had no memory of being the winner in the previous death games. And so they're cursed as a time loop to relive that over and over and win over and over again. It's kind of fucked up, but
yeah,
it's like
you want to know
like Battle Royale, but I think Alice in Borderland would be a better example of it.
You want to know an anime that will kick you in the groin over and over and over again with the feels? Air. So, okay, I'm going to try to explain this because I myself, like, looking at it, so it's based around the same, it has the same animation for, like, Kenon. Hopefully I said that correctly.
I wouldn't know otherwise, so.
But anyway, so you have this guy who's a traveling entertainer, comes across this seashore town, and comes across a girl named Mitsu. I can't remember her last name, but it turns out there's something special about her.
Mhm.
And this is quite possibly her last summer, because apparently, due to some crazy ancient curse bullshit, she is the descendant of a winged girl who died and was cursed to be reincarnated over and over again, and to die at a certain age.
That sounds familiar.
Oh, and to make matters worse, the winged girl, who her guardian was also cursed to reincarnate.
Well, shit.
And
That's
so,
also kind of like Mirai Nikki too.
so basically, and to make matters worse, before he can realize, because at first he thinks, because how should I? Again, it's one of those animes where it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Because you realize that, well, they're kind of screwed either way. No matter what you do, you're there. Whatever you do, it's not going to work. Especially
Have
since,
you seen Future Diary?
I don't think I have.
Because it sounds like you're describing the plot of Future Diary.
Oh no! Well, here's the thing. Because halfway, I mean, at least for the original, like I think it was like 13 episode series. Which, by the way, they made a movie, which is like the entire series condensed into one movie. Halfway through the series, they do one of the worst story plot things that I have ever seen, and I fucking hate it every time they implement it. Where they go back in time to a certain section of the story, and the guardian or the guy that was the traveler, or the traveling entertainer, which, by the way, he knows magic apparently, reincarnates himself into a crow that was already popped up, that was already like around for the first section of the show.
What?
I know, right?
No, this doesn't sound like Future Diary anymore.
And then again, because it's like because down the line, it's like nothing they do will actually break the fucking curse. She dies either way. And it like the movie is like the condensed form of the series, and it's like, well, at least I don't have to wait. At least it's only like, about an hour or so till I have to witness
till I live again.
No, till I have to witness this girl unfortunately meet her demise again.
Yikes!
Like, this is fucked up.
Do they do justice for combining so much content in such a short time frame for a film?
Okay, actually, I will admit they did something different.
Oh.
Yeah, so they actually, some of the characters, they actually changed a little bit. For one, there's one character that I really fucking hate, which is her dad, who trying not to go into too much, the mother of the girl character passed away, and the father just took off. And then halfway through, and I think this was like the girl's aunt that's been watching him or watching her. The dude comes back trying to get his daughter back. Yeah. And then in the movie, they actually make him more of an asshole about it. In fact, instead of like the guy reincarnating into a crow, he actually stays for when the girl dies, and he basically slugs the dude for being a dick. Oh, and by the way, actually, one of the best things about that the series and the show, the entertainer is voiced by Vic Mignogna. One of my, again,
as in the dub version.
In the dub. Not gonna lie, he is one of my favorite voice actors.
Same. I like Matthew Mercer and Troy Baker too, but there's so many more that I like too. Like
Yeah, but I like Troy Baker too, but they overuse him.
Yeah. And they should have used him for fucking Borderlands 3. That pissed me off. That made me not want to buy the game.
Wasn't he Claptrap originally?
No, he was Reese from Tales from the Borderlands.
They switched him up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Randy Pitchford or whatever, the dude from Gearbox, or was it, I think, yeah, Gearbox. He had tried telling everybody that Troy couldn't do it because he had schedule conflicts, and then Troy comes back and shoots back and is like, "No, I was never asked."
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah. So they ended up having somebody else that's not as known as him to voice as Reese.
That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't buy Borderlands 3, because I was pissed about that. I mean, that does hurt at the same time. I mean, it does hurt other people that made the game, but still, that's Randy. He sounds like a piece of shit guy. He's always like, he's kind of like the Peter Molyneux of Gearbox.
I think all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna finish the other games first. I'm kind of slowly slogging through Borderlands, but I'm gonna finish the other games first, and then I'm gonna play Borderlands 3.
Yeah. Well, you'll definitely need to play Tales from the Borderlands before Borderlands 3.
Oh, I got that stashed away on my freaking my entertainment thing for all my shit. So I'm definitely, I think if anything, because I'm starting to upload, at least tomorrow will be the first of 2 episodes for the first DLC for Borderlands 2, which is which one was that? I'm looking it up now. I can hear the fireworks in the background.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a fucking war zone over here.
Captain Scarlet and her pirate's booty.
Ah.
That was I actually looked it up, like chronologically, which ones came out first. I looked it up, and then that's how I'm gonna, release the episodes. I'm just hoping my friggin' street doesn't catch fire. I have 2 houses.
Yeah.
I have 2 houses in my neighborhood that are complete and utter jackasses.
Yeah. Well, I live in a subdivision with a bunch of kids, and so usually they'll light off the fireworks out here. Or where I went last year, I was on a boat watching the fireworks, and I got some really cool pictures from them too, that I posted and I showed you before. But yeah, they're still going, and JR is still not home from going up north. I wasn't going.
Dang.
This is that's all I'll say is I wasn't going. But I don't know if I still have my sparklers. I always loved like sparklers and those poppets or whatever, you like slam them on the ground and they pop. They're
dang. I have
love those. Yeah, they usually box them in with wood shavings or something like that. But I used to be scared of the really loud fireworks, but now it does not faze me at all, obviously. But Ash doesn't seem too bothered by it. Daisy would hide. She hated loud noise, but Ash is just kind of like, I want to go outside. I want to see this. Little shit got me good earlier too. She clawed the back or my palm of my hand. She jumped up on next to me on the bed, and I put my arm around her like I normally do. All of a sudden, she just turns around and grabs it with all 4 of her paws, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what has gotten into you? And now she's nowhere to be found.
Huh. That's funny.
So, as for the Steven Crowder Ethan thing, I didn't know we were going to be talking about it tonight, so I didn't.
I wasn't.
Prepare.
I mean, at first, so I think I should mention this to everybody. I I was contemplating whether to talk about this, and frankly, when it happened last week, I was not it was like the only thing that came up, and I was not motivated to talk about it.
In your words, I'll just end up calling Ethan a spineless bitch the whole time.
Oh, no, yeah, he is a spineless bitch. Now, I will say, because I saw, which I have to give credit to Sinatra Says. Say what you want about him.
Never heard of him.
Okay.
No shade towards Sinatra Says. I just never heard of him.
He had this came from somebody who is not a fan of either Steven nor Ethan, and he compiled the 2-hour video giving his discussion or his thoughts on how the drama started and how it ended, or at least when it came to the situation. So
how did it start?
So
I know how it ended. I just don't know how it started.
So originally it started with Ethan and he getting all pissy about a comment that Joe Rogan made about apparently during a party, Hila wearing a mask during COVID. And Ethan took complete offense to this and then started throwing shade at Joe Rogan. In fact, even going out of his way to start using language that you'd think would be against the terms of service, like, for instance, going after looks, which I think is a definite when it comes down to, the rules we have to follow.
That's why I messaged you about the whole titty streamer video.
Which I don't think I talked about looks, besides, making a remark.
I'm talking about the title.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was saying, probably should change that.
Yeah, I'll leave it.
Because you're I didn't get what your response was. I was like, yeah, you might want to consider changing that. Otherwise, it's going to get demonetized most likely, even though it hasn't premiered yet. You sent me a screenshot back showing that it was demonetized. I'm like, yep.
No, it had limited. It had limited ads. And honestly, I'm like,
that's the yellow.
Honestly, it's one fucking video.
And I know, but it was just like, I just thought that was a weird response. I'm like, yes, you're proving me right.
But at this point, I don't really care. Actually, apparently somebody from that community got freaking, I think it was terminated recently. But yeah. We can talk about that later. I'm going to focus on Ethan Klein.
Yeah, not a topic.
So I'm going to.
We've already had this debate before.
With this one, with this podcast, I'm going to try to stay focused on each topic. And then after we deal with each topic, we'll bullshit for a bit, probably.
And yell at each other, probably.
Probably not.
No, I don't think we've ever yelled at each other once.
Disagreed, but not yell.
Disagreed, definitely, but never yell.
But anyway, so so they were throwing shade at Joe Rogan, using making fun of his looks. And also making a remark about how we should just blindly follow the government and the, was it GCP? I can't remember what the fuck the acronym was.
GOP?
I think, yeah, GOP.
The Grand Old Party?
When it comes down to healthcare and what the government says about dealing with
who
COVID.
says this?
Ethan Klein.
Okay.
To blindly follow the GOP. Crowder took offense to this, or I don't know if I want to say took offense, but had a response to it.
Okay, so just to make sure that I'm understanding this. So Ethan had said that we should follow the GOP for healthcare.
Blindly, yeah. Follow everything they
blindly?
say. Yeah, follow everything they say.
Oh, is it like a sarcastic remark?
I don't know if it was sarcastic. It seemed like he was actually being genuine on that.
Oh, because Ethan's a liberal.
Well,
that's why I'm kind of confused.
Yeah.
But I will say that I do. Well, there are certain things on the conservative side of things that I do agree with when it comes to healthcare, but I'm not going to get full in depth with my own political views. But okay. So he took offense to that.
Crowder comes across this and then makes his kind of kind of pushes back and makes his remarks towards Ethan about what he said about blindly following the GOP. Ethan lashes back, and it goes on to be a back and forth between them. At one point, both of them kind of making fun of stuff involving health and looks, which, if I remember correctly, it was Ethan that was the one that started that one, making fun of apparently Crowder constantly having used tissues, and apparently Crowder has some kind of immune system thing going on where he has to constantly like blow his nose or something like that, or has a sinus issue.
Okay, so just taking little pot shots.
Yeah, that's where it started, like or at least when it comes down to this, where it started to build up. Then Crowder made a remark about I guess Ethan Klein's Tourette's, which he took offense to that. Though I'm gonna be perfectly honest, Ethan kind of made the stupid decision to start that one. And I'm not defending. I don't want to sound like I'm defending Crowder either. I mean, when it comes down to it, he shouldn't have made that remark either, like making pot shots at his Tourette's either. So, and when it comes to this situation, I'm going to try to be kind of in the center in this whole situation.
Sorry, I'm just letting everyone and you know that if I'm staying muted for a while, it's because of the fireworks.
Yeah. Yeah. What time is it over there?
11 o'clock.
Yeah, it's like almost 8 o'clock for me. It's not even dark. But
yeah, the sun just went down like an hour ago.
So at one point, I'm just kind of clip noting the everything that happened. So eventually it builds up to the point where Crowder and Ethan decide to come together and do a one-on-one debate about Ethan Klein's remarks about the GOP. And sure enough, they both meet. Both of them decide to make a master file of that whole situation. And before the debate,
a master file,
like record their own side of the debate.
Oh, okay.
Because it turns out that Ethan might have on his side edited it heavily.
From what I saw, it wasn't edited. Usually the only time they really do put any edits in is when they put in like a graphic for like use code H3 for blank, you know. But other than that, it's typically not edited. But I will be, in fairness, I will say that I listened to the majority. I listened to the debate. I didn't always watch it though, because I was doing other stuff around the house.
Though I think it's offensive to call it a debate because it wasn't even a debate.
Oh no, it wasn't a debate at all. It was just a shouting match.
And by the way, and I will say, because something I forgot to mention is they also were making pot shots of because they make a stupid remark about Spartan, or like Ethan Klein makes a stupid rebuttal about Spartans, about them having sex with children, and like listening to him, like, dude, that's so fucking stupid, especially with the fact that, you know, he's trying to make pot shots at the one of Crowder's advertisers, which was ridiculous, and it makes no sense in that regard. But some of the, before the debate even starts, they're trying to be civil with each other. At least Crowder was
Ethan was too, but you could just, I mean, he was talking all the way before or putting Steven on. He was talking about how
he pulled an Onision. He pulled an Onision. I'm calling it as it is. He pulled an Onision where it kind of like what happened with Jeff Holiday, where they were civil near the very beginning, and then once everything kicked off, he just pulled a 180.
Okay, I see where you're getting there. I was thinking that you were trying to say it in terms of the bait and switch.
No, yeah, he pulled a Onision, which honestly was a really cowardly fucking move. But anyways, so they're civil, and I guess because it seemed like Crowder predicted it, because before they can even start, Crowder gives the introduction. and he makes a stupid. Ethan makes a They pan off of Ethan. They make a stupid joke about Spartans having sex with children, and then it's Sam. Who again? I forget.
Sam Cedar.
That was, by the way, that was a joke. I don't know who that fucker is, but apparently
I've heard of him. I just never watched any of his content or read any of his stuff.
So from what I've heard, and I actually looked this up, apparently anybody on the Republican side doesn't want to touch this guy because he tries to shoehorn his way into debates, or at least try to shoehorn himself into other people's communities. At least that's the word, and it's at that point everything just derails. Where again, I think as you pointed out, it was like a shouting match between both parties. It was mainly Steven, just like
he was the one that seemed to be interrupting Ethan a lot. But they were talking over each other. I think it was just getting really frustrating to listen to.
Well, it seemed, I mean, to an extent, like they were trying to get a conversation with Steven, but Sam was, couldn't shut the fuck up.
What I'll say I think was dumb is that at the very end, both sides were like, I won.
Yes, well, that's debatable.
No one won. No one won there.
That's debatable. I mean,
not even the people that watched won. So in that regard,
here's how, and I'm just gonna, because I don't want to talk too much about this. Here's how both them won. And look, I'm gonna try to play devil's advocate with this. So, in some sense, they both lost. Ethan lost because I'm going to say it again. He's a spineless piece of shit. He, instead of keeping his word, which, by the way, it's documented, thanks to Steven Crowder showing the screenshots, it's documented that he agreed to a one-on-one debate with Steven Crowder. None of this shady shit where he would bring in Sam Cedar into the conversation. Which I think at some point, Sam Cedar actually kind of shot him in the foot with a remark he makes about Ethan bringing him in or something. But Ethan, again, is a cowardly bitch. And if anything, should have kept to his word. But he didn't. Now, Steven Crowder, honestly, I think if to qualify Steven Crowder as winning, actually did the debate and fucking put both Ethan and Sam Cedar in their place. Still did the debate, even though, again, even though,
go on.
Even though more likely Ethan was just going to hide the entire time.
The way I saw it was that, I mean, no, I understand your position on this. That was shitty of Ethan to do because he had said that he figured that it was going to be basically Crowder just wanting to shit on him and talk down to him the whole time and act superior when it comes to the realm of politics because Ethan isn't all that political. And so he knew of Sam Cedar like wanting to like talk or debate with Steven. So I think he was like, oh, this will be entertaining. Not to say that I was right. I thought that was a shit move on Ethan's part. Like that was stupid of him. But that's kind of where I saw is like, instead of just letting Steven embarrass him on his own live stream, he decided to try to pull one over on him by bringing in the Trojan horse, which I don't know if that was where Ethan was trying to get at when he brought up the Spartans, but it was like, it wasn't that funny to me.
Well, it's to make matters worse, because I want to make a comment too, because Ethan makes remarks about how when it comes down to Steven's content, that he is a racist or a sexist and stuff like that. But I'm sorry, like I know Ethan Klein probably wouldn't watch our content, but I'm sorry, but weren't you repeatedly saying the N-word in a live stream? saying that you just, and this was with iDubbbz, by the way, repeatedly saying how much you just love saying that word.
Yeah, iDubbbz didn't actually say it during that stream or that podcast.
It was Ethan that
it was
said
Ethan.
it. Yeah, that's the point I'm making.
Right.
I kind of find it hypocritical of him to try to take pot shots at Steven, saying that he's a racist, when clearly, I mean, to an extent, it shows that his content isn't. It's over the top sometimes, but he's not a racist. But to go out of your way to claim he's a racist, and then, by the way, and apparently, anytime you look up Ethan Klein or anything involving that clip, it's gone. Like, it's been expunged from the internet for the most part of him, saying that word and making that comment.
No, because it would fall against YouTube's guidelines.
That and make him look like the hypocrite that he is.
I'm not saying Ethan's fucking perfect by any means. I just thought that whole thing was just dumb and just shouldn't have happened.
It was. I will agree with you on that.
It's hard to listen to because they were just shouting over another. So
they were just shouting over each other. Yeah.
And then, like I said, it just annoyed me that both of them were after the end of it go, I won. No one won.
No.
Like I said, no one won in that situation.
I will agree with you on that one too. It was a lose-lose situation on that. Ethan Klein didn't win, as he wants to claim himself as the winner, and Steven unfortunately didn't claim it. Can't be the winner either. Nobody won in that situation.
I think that the fact that I'm assuming that they just discuss things through DMs rather than having like a formal debate with a contract and everything like that seems to be. Now I'm losing my train of thought. Oh shit. Where was I going with that? I think it was something along the lines of Ethan being able to wiggle his way into having a bait and switch. If this were to have been, or if they were to do it over again, obviously, I think it should be between Ethan and Steven. Get rid of his co-host to chime in. Just Ethan, just Steven.
Well, again, that was what was originally supposed to happen. And again, the DM, like if you look at the screenshots, because I saw afterwards, I saw Ethan's video and I saw Steven's video, or at least the aftermath, and he shares the screenshots of Ethan clearly saying, "Just you and me, we'll debate."
But yeah, I'm trying to see how Ethan reviewed that. Because he never, or did he? I think I've seen those screenshots. I just don't remember what he said afterwards to that. If Ethan said yes.
I think it was,
because otherwise it would just be more just an agreement without any sort of legal standing. But I mean, regardless, that's what I think that should have been involved in for this anyway. If they were to get something either on contract or like defining terms before doing the debate, like so picking topics ahead of time so they come prepared. Obviously it seemed like Steven had put a little more effort in that end than Ethan did, but yeah.
Well, it's like, well, I'm to kind of remark on something that a lot of people have mentioned. Ethan doesn't fucking know politics. Clearly, he doesn't.
Yeah,
he speaks his mind. He speaks his mind about it, but he doesn't know politics. Crowder, on the other hand, who focuses his, even though he claims himself to be a comedian too, has focused the majority of his career on YouTube involving politics. And between, and
are you trying to say that Ethan shouldn't talk or give an opinion on politics?
I'm I'm saying, if anything, when it comes down to it, he should have made himself prepare or realize that, especially with him, with his lack of knowledge, should have been better prepared for somebody who clearly spends more time in politics. Because at that point, and that's the reason why I think he brought Sam Cedar in, because at this point, nobody wanted to talk to Sam Cedar, including Steven Crowder.
Mm-hmm. In fact, like I said, I think that Ethan was afraid of getting embarrassed. And so, or because of his lack of knowledge in politics. And so he wanted to make it entertaining, and then throwing in that smoking gun. Well, not smoking gun, but that bait and switch. Actually, but still, I agree with you.
The worst, I think the worst part for Ethan, though, was the fact that they made a remark about him taking advantage of people with mental health. We all know who he was referring to.
I don't think. I mean, come on. I don't know if it was necessarily taking advantage of it.
But I think you know who they were
that way. But either way, money was involved. Yes.
Either way, you know who they were referring to.
Of course. Of course.
Everybody knew what they were referring to.
Of course. He rebranded. It's now Families.
Wait, what?
And so instead of Frenemies, because Frenemies is over, they rebranded as Families, and his mom is his new co-host.
Oh, joy.
She's cool though. I mean, she seems really cool.
I mean, I haven't watched his content, besides this recent drama, I don't care much for Ethan Klein, so check it out. I've
been a fan of H3H3 since like 2015. I remember I showed a few of their videos when I first started teaching anthropology, and somebody actually complained about that. Went to my department chair and complained, which really, like, why? It's so stupid. Because I showed the video I showed in particular was like Hila's first Thanksgiving, and he was trying to fool her with like random fake Thanksgiving traditions and customs here. So I was using that to talk about culture and also because it was the class before Thanksgiving break. But yeah, somebody complained about that. Yay. And I know exactly who it was too. Because usually that shit's anonymous. But no, I know exactly who it was. I'm not bitter still.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, I mean, I will say that I have not watched a lot of like Steven Crowder's content. So that's why I've kind of just been circling around the same few points that I had, just because I feel like I can't give full justice to the topic. And that's on my end of not fully preparing. But
well, I'm just,
yeah.
I mean, when it comes down to it, there's only been a few things that I watch. There's a few comedy skits that I like from back in the day. But for the most part, from Crowder. Or at least when it comes to skits and discussions. But since then, I on and off watch. H3H3, the only reason I recently started watching his shit was because of this current shit stuff that was going on. And to see what was going on, or just trying to understand the full story for that matter. And to an extent, again, when it comes down to it, I have to, as I said before, play devil's advocate when it comes down to looking at this. I'm at this point not going to pick a side.
A different perspective rather than devil's advocate, just a differing perspective.
Yeah. Well, it's like I'm kind of, especially when it comes to the outcome, I will say I'm split towards the middle. I don't think any of them won, as I stated.
Yeah.
But Ethan Klein is still a bitch.
Okay.
That's it.
The end.
Sure, somebody will make a parody of that.
But So yeah, fun fact, guys. I already said this to Rob and the others on Discord yesterday, but so I watch a lot of true crime videos, as you guys know, and there was one that I watched yesterday about Randy Stair or Andrew Blaze. He was the guy that was obsessed with Ember McLean from Danny Phantom and created his own version of Danny Phantom. It was super dark, and he ended up killing a few people.
What?
And he documented his suicide tapes, which I believe are still on YouTube. I still have it as a saved playlist.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah, and his
continue.
very last video, the video prior to him carrying out his plan, he's sitting in his car and he's talking about Onision, saying like, yeah, like I really like Onision. I really like his content. I don't really watch so much anymore. He seems kind of like crazy, but I have used some of his music. And just kind of, he's like, yeah, but he's kind of crazy. And I found it funny that a murderer thought that Onision was too much. Happy 4th of July, Nano Vapor Biotech.
I thought for a second, I thought you were going to say something about how his music possibly caused him to go crazy.
Oh no. No. Don't go there. But
they try to claim that video games cause people to commit violence. Why not Onision's crappy music?
It's not even, well, it's just beats with him mainly talking.
It's offensive
call
to
it
even
what you will.
Well, I'm just gonna say it's offensive to call that shit music.
No, that's what I call shit music. Volume 1. Chris Hansen spent the day in jail. Yes, he did.
Speaking of
what?
Oh, so we were going to get into that, but first, Speaking of music, I am buying the soundtrack for God of War. I fucking love that music.
I haven't listened to the soundtrack. I haven't even.
Oh, the first.
Game either.
I mean, the first track, which is just God of War, is so awesome.
Oh, thank you. You're very sweet.
What did I say?
You guys deserve more views.
Thank you, but
I disagree.
So
no one should be seeing conversations.
Chris Hansen is the next topic on the docket.
Oh, so, yeah, okay. Withholding evidence, and he has 14 days to turn it over, otherwise he's going back to jail. What was the withholding evidence from?
So this was apparently for a case for a... actually, I have a news article where he was supposed to appear in Swawassee County courtroom in connection to a sting operation he assisted that led to the arrest of 3 men who sought to meet with underage girls. And I think this was more closer to a sex trafficking thing.
Yeah, Shiawassee.
At least that's what I heard.
Shiawassee is in Michigan.
But apparently there was certain evidence that Chris Hansen didn't bring to them, and they decided to give him an arrest warrant.
The sting he put on YouTube in 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, all I heard was, oh, he's a person of interest now. Interesting. Yeah, I really don't follow any of Chris Hansen's doings. I didn't even realize I was still subscribed to him until I saw the other day when he had a video premiere or something. I don't know. Like, he has no views on his content anymore.
They also bring up the fact, I guess in the article, because I'm looking this up at the New York Post, they mention how in January in 2019, Chris Hansen was arrested in Kentucky and charged with larceny for allegedly purchasing a $13,000 13,000 in merchandise, and with checks that later bounced. I don't know why that was important to this story, but I will blame TMZ for that.
Well, because he's had history of check fraud in the past.
Well, I mean, I'm mentioning the fact that I hate TMZ. The fucking hacks.
Okay.
Again, I don't know why that was important.
So feisty.
I fucking hate TMZ. Why do you think I make pot shots of a certain somebody claiming them to be a bootleg TMZ reporter? You know who I'm talking about.
No, I do. I have no clue who you're talking about.
No, you
and
do.
Please don't talk about who I don't know who you're talking about ever again.
Only the creepiest motherfucker ever to live. I'll just continue there. I will discontinue.
But I didn't thank you. Judge has a lot of questions for Mr. Hansen. I'm sure he does, or sure they do.
By the way, it didn't take long for I'll be talking about this in a future video, but it didn't take long for Onision to catch on to this and then use this as a I was innocent the entire time. No, you fucking weren't, dude. You're a creepy fucker who tracked down freaking teenagers and tried to have sex with them. Get over yourself.
It's like was it like Ed Troyer, who was the sheriff.
That dude also had some drama that was going on last time I checked.
Yeah, some legal shit. And then you have Mike Morse, who was, allegedly sexually harassed somebody and committed insurance fraud. And I know people who know him, and I would not be surprised if he ends up losing his license if he has not already.
More likely.
Let's see here. Hey, Size Matters, how are you?
Hey, Size Matters.
Lost credibility because of the Onision thing late 2019, early 2020. Yeah, one thing doesn't have to do with the other.
I think he lost his credibility when he lost his show originally.
I've always been weirded out. Like I said before, I've always been weirded out by the premise of To Catch a Predator. Because to me, I'm gonna say I want to say that thanks to him, a lot of channels decided to go with that kind of content, where they were following Chris Hansen's footsteps. The basic premise, and I think this was Dateline, if I remember correctly. Yep, Dateline NBC.
So the premise was they were to bait and trap potential predators by having them by having one person who isn't a child have conversations.
Basically, they're committing entrapment.
Yeah, committing entrapment. I think that's the best way. I'm surprised they didn't get them on that. But anyways,
they fucking lost the show because of the fact that one guy ended up committing suicide because of the show.
Yes. But anyways, as you so boldly mentioned, committing entrapment, where these predators would show up at the house thinking that they're going to have a fun time with children. And when they get inside the house, Chris Hansen shows up, proceeds to...
I think people know the premise for To Catch a Predator.
Well, it's been years. It's been years.
I mean, because he's still a relevant meme to this day. Prior to all this, everyone used that one picture that everybody uses of Chris Hansen for that meme. But
I used it a couple times for my Onision content thumbnails.
Yeah. Let's see here. Chris Hansen has a lot of friends who have sexual assault allegations against him. Mike Morris, West Most. Yeah. No, he did an interview with EDP. I didn't watch that video.
I didn't watch. Here's my thought on that. That's just Chris Hansen trying to stroke his own ego once again and feed his own pockets. by trying to, like, last minute try to get involved in something that he is too late to be a part of and try to take credit for.
Yeah. Oh, I was not surprised that he was going to try to pursue that. He seems very desperate for money.
Yeah. And I'm gonna to add on to that. What was the name of the channel that did the whole EDP thing?
Oh shit.
I can't remember, but fuck them.
Yeah.
They did that so poorly, and it cost the police that investigation because of their involvement.
Yeah. And there are people that still support EDP.
Why?
Like, I don't fucking know. I mean, I get along with most people regardless of their past, but because I mean, you know me, I'm not big on guilt by association, but predator hunters, that was it.
Yes.
But predator hunters, and I know, oh crap, and the one dude had his own channel. Gosh, yeah. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so unprepared.
Well, either way, Chris Hansen had honestly had no right to be a part of that whole thing.
Did you watch the interview, Size Matters? I don't think it was all that long or lengthy of a video. Oh God. Oh.
Oh no.
She is just digging herself in a deeper and deeper hole.
Is there more stuff going on with her? Because I just kind of
their sibling confirmed like a bunch of shit. Like how it was also shown through screenshots, I think by Omnia, but I believe it's on Kai Weiss's channel, about how like Shannon was a part of this like small like group chat on Discord. And that was where she had put her sister's Twitter handle.
Oh God.
Or sorry, not his sister, I'm sorry. Sibling, because they go by they, them. Forgive me if anyone related to this happens to watch us. But and then there was like somebody had found a clip of one of Shannon's old videos where she just brags about how she is so good at online stalking, and that there are even times where friends had told her like that they were kind of worried about her regarding that, and she was just like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'm so good at this.
Creep show art is Ominous Gene.
Anonymous.
I forget, who is that again?
The person that was doxing and harassing anybody that talked shit about Chris Hansen.
Oh.
They've showed up to our streams before too.
As like another profile, I think. Really?
Yeah, it was Anonymous Gene.
Okay.
That was the same night that Nicholas or Vincent Nicotra
also showed up.
Yeah. They kind of showed up around the same time.
Oh Lord.
And then I think they who was it? I think it was John Swan's video that on Anonymous Gene, where they showed a screenshot from that Jane took, and one of the bookmarks looked like the title of one of our videos. And so I remember trying to look for it. I can't remember if it was. I don't know, but the title was extremely similar. If it wasn't us. Not that I'm like, oh cool, we're in a John Swan video. I just thought that was like, oh, huh. I mean, it's plausible since they have shown up here before.
Yeah.
But
just be like, neat. Can't believe that happened.
I mean, Anonymous Gene seems to be a lot more proficient with working technology in comparison to Shannon. So I don't know if I would.
Yeah,
That would be a plot twist, though. Definitely.
it would be.
Oh, and then there were people thinking that she, like, because there's this podcast that popped up, and a lot of people thought it was Shannon,
Oh yeah.
and people like, I mean, if you listen, it didn't sound like Shannon, but because their episodes are talking about creepshow art, so people are like, oh, maybe she's trying to be sneaky and, you know, get back on social media by creating a podcast. And people were like, a lot of people were like, I'm certain that's Shannon, but I really didn't hear any commonalities. I don't know, or they didn't sound similar to me. Omnia
Yeah.
sounds a lot more like Shannon in comparison to the other person.
Good Lord.
But because I mean, I've never spoken with Shannon at all. I've hardly spoken to any larger content creators. Reverse flex.
Well, it's like the only time we actually had a conversation with a semi-large content creator down the line, or at least in the past.
Billy
and
the
I'm
Fridge?
not set. Huh?
Is it Billy the Fridge you referred to?
Well, that was more. I think that was more of. We didn't actually have him on the podcast.
Oh, not on the podcast.
But we spoke with him. I actually had to. I mean, with some of the stuff that was going on, I had to publicly apologize to him, which I did felt bad because
he was super sweet, though.
He was nice.
He even said to thank you. Like when I talked to him, he was like, "Yeah, you tell Rob I said thank you because I mean, if you didn't make that video, then
I felt bad because I will say, like, in the sense of like Billy the Fridge, he was literally kind of like broken between doing the right thing and, you know, breaking it off with a friend. Though I don't know how anybody could be friends with Onision, but that's just my perspective.
Gabby Hanna recently is kind of reminding me of some Onision traits. Like she's been making this series, trying to explain herself and possibly expose other people. And she seems very manic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she should not be on the internet.
There's
at least not right now.
I mean, there's a lot of people that should not be on the internet, but that's just me.
Like she's become such a like diva now.
Oh, those people are fun.
Yeah. Well, because like Joey Graceffa and his ex Daniel Prada both made videos because of Gabby's video about Escape of the Night, the YouTube original series. Usually they premiere at VidCon, and Gabby was a part of it for 2 seasons, and they ended up killing her off early. They did a double death elimination. And so they killed her off along with Tana Mojo because Tana had an award show to be at the next morning, or she had to be in like New York or something like that the next morning. And they killed Gabby off because she was just ruining everyone's morale, being a diva about everything. And so Joey and Daniel both made videos. Daniel's was an hour long. I actually watched it twice. Same with Joey's. And they're showing like receipts of everything, like backing up what they're saying. Like she basically said that she had, like in her video, she talked about how the jewelry that she had to wear like broke her out in hives and like pussy boils and all that stuff. Her dress for the show didn't fit, and she didn't want to basically wait until like for her call time. And she also mainly freaked out about food. She never filled out the paperwork until the day of shooting, or like regarding her diet, or any requirements, contracts, all that other shit. And
what show is this?
Escape the Night.
Oh. Is this a YouTube one?
Yeah, it's a YouTube original.
No wonder I don't care.
I mean, I've heard it's actually pretty good. It's basically like Clue.
That's
Where,
I'm not.
yeah, it's more of a game or competitive or a challenge show.
Can I just say I take offense to that because Clue is a fucking classic. Or no, I'm sorry, not Clue. Wait, no, maybe I'm thinking Clue. Wait,
Mr. Plum in the library
Clue,
with the
Clue.
wrench.
And
YouTube is like
Tim
Hollywood. The YouTubers go up the deep end. Yeah.
and Tim Curry's a fucking treasure in that film. Best line out of the entire fucking movie is when you have Tim Curry as the butler, and the dude playing
Wait, Tim Curry was the butler?
Yeah, Tim Curry was the butler.
I thought it was John Cleese.
Tim Curry was the butler / Mr. Body. Spoilers.
He's talking about an elaborate board game, not the movie at all.
No, I'm talking about the movie.
I know. I was making a really shitty joke.
But yeah, there's a line between him and the guy that plays, was it General Green? No. Was it General Green? I can't remember the character. Colonel Mustard. There we go. I don't know why I say General Green. Colonel Mustard, where Colonel Mustard goes to him and says, "What do you do?" He's like, "I'm the butler." It's like, "Well, what do you do?" "I buttle, sir." And they're like, "What does that entail?" And he's like, "The butler is supposed to keep the house tidy."
Oh, I thought they were gonna make up more words.
Heck, by the way, for those who don't know, fun fact, that was one of those movies that literally started off the chain of multiple endings.
That one was that Clue?
That was one of the first ones that started that whole thing. And they did it in a very comedic way.
I know I own the movie because of my parents' video stores, but I haven't seen it. I do remember the box art though on it because it was actually one of those like hey kids, a VHS was how we watch movies. And we would put it either in a plastic case or like that movie in particular came with, I believe it came with like those larger like cardboard boxes that they would go in. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
I mean, video games were the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen Clue in a very long time. But like, no, what's even more fucked up is like Gabby, she didn't go to all her fittings. There was this like the costume designer or seamstress had to meet Gabby 2 hours away at her studio because she couldn't make it out to the fitting. And then she got stood up. And
what?
She was 9 months pregnant at the time.
So at that point, it's even though she wants to blame everything, it was continuously Gabby's fault.
Yes.
For a lot of the stuff that was going on, or a lot of her problems.
But she tried it in her videos. She basically tried using ADHD as an excuse.
Oh, and at least people that watch our podcast know how I feel about that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up last time when he brought up Momokun. But like, she was just a diva on set, and she didn't go to the other 2 fittings. She complained about the food because she says that she needs to have healthy foods with enough protein and calories. So she needed like specific foods, and she needed to eat at between 1:30 and 2 p.m. and then again at 7:30, and from 7:30 to 8 p.m. she has to eat at those times, no matter what she's shooting. She complained about the dress that she wore not fitting well because she didn't attend the fittings.
Yeah.
She wouldn't show up for certain things, and to where YouTube executives got really pissed, and they even like for like their billboard shoot for part of it, they had to put a body double in, and they dismissed Gabby early because they just couldn't deal with her. And then I guess she also, like Daniel, who was like the senior producer for the show, he tried anything to do with appeasing her. He even made her like custom salads at Whole Foods. And then she never ate it. Or she ate one of them. And then she also called a PA a dumb fucking cunt when they had told her that they were running behind, and so her call time had to be moved by like 20 minutes. And so she called them a dumb fucking cunt in front of them because they didn't go by her schedule. And then her issue with Joey and Daniel was that they accepted her apology, but still talked shit about her behind her back. And so she felt like she needed to make a video to defend herself. But it's just like, I don't see how she can defend herself in this. It was just, oh my God, it was bad. Like, you know, she's just going off the rails. Like, she even threatened to sue some kids that were in a Discord group or something like that, that were once like members of her Patreon and Discord group. And they started up their own little group chat of like with other people that left and were like unsatisfied with Gabby, like not fulfilling her duties for Patreon. Yeah. And somebody in that group sent an invite link to Gabby. So she went into this Discord server and goes, "Hey guys, I just wanted to tell you or give you a heads up about the lawsuit."
What lawsuit?
Defamation.
Oh, fuck off.
She said what they said about her, like not fulfilling, you know, her duties for Patreon. You know, that's why they left, because they weren't getting what they paid for. And she considers that to be slanderous.
Okay, yeah, no. If you're not committing to what you said you were going to do with your fucking content, especially if people are fucking, which this is for Patreon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? Because I doubt Gabby would watch this. People are paying for certain content. Promise content or content that you promise them with with whatever money that they are, you know, paying for that subscription. And if you are not giving them that content, it's not defamation. If you're not committing to like what you promised. Yeah. And if you're not committing to what you promised, guess what? That's not fucking defamation. That's just them, you know, at this point, telling more people, don't send this person money because they aren't committing to the promise that they made as a fucking content creator.
Mm-hmm. And then they're like, we only just expressed our opinions, Gabby. And she's like, no, that's defamation. Hold on 1 second.
I'm getting so tired of these.
My headset or my beanie off for a second. So
I'm getting so tired of these fucking idiots and, you know, higher up in the freaking chain of content creation, that any form of criticism, they immediately assume, like, try to make it out, oh, it's slander, oh, it's harassment. Mm-hmm. You know what? If you can't handle fucking like a simple form of criticism, then take your computer or any form of device you use for your content. Purchase a sledgehammer in case you don't have one already. Put that stuff in a fucking pile and use that sledgehammer and start destroying everything that you use to create content. Because at this point, you need to be off the fucking internet. Because clearly you can't handle fucking criticism.
Yep. She, what else did she do? But yeah, she was like, they were trying to defend themselves, and she's like, well, or somebody goes, well, some of us here aren't 18, Gabby. And she was like, okay, well, I'm going to need their parents' contact information.
Yeah, fuck off.
And then they're like, how about this? We just not talk about you ever again, and you leave it be. And then she's like, can I want that in writing. I believe she maybe even also asked for an apology from them.
So
all because they were dissatisfied with her Patreon.
I want to say something mean. I want to say something really fucking mean. And I'm holding it in right now. Can I get permission to say it?
Why are you asking me?
Well, I just... Because I'm going to say it. I want to say...
Make me feel like I'm like the commander of Novakast.
Well, you help me stay in check when it comes to certain content.
Go for it. Let loose.
She's a fucking cunt.
Agreed.
And if she comes onto my channel and tells me that I need to freaking apologize, fuck no. One, we're only giving opinions on what you've already done. On what you've done publicly, you dumb bitch. So you can fuck right off. You are not getting an apology. And if you're going to try to sue us, guess what? Good fucking luck. Especially trying to prove defamation.
She's also one of those people that coincidentally seems to have drama before one of her like music videos drops. Or one of her crappy poetry books drops.
Oh, so so she's like Onision when it comes to her extra content.
Yeah.
That's a bad sign, dude.
And then like there was, there was an article on her written like, why is everyone mad at Gabby Hanna?
And she's a bitch.
And one of the things like she blamed Trisha Paytas. Said that like her and other people like she lost like $5 to $10 million because of them and all this other shit. She's been really hell-bent on wanting to prove that her and Trisha were friends before. Which why? Okay, yeah, Trisha may be lying or not remembering things the same way as you do, which I am leaning more than the end of like making shit up. But like, how would you lose up to $10 million? And then like, last year she claimed she was shadow banned from YouTube. And it was like, my music normally gets this many views, and now I'm only getting this many views. And when I scroll through, I can't even find any of my shit when I search for it on YouTube. And she even like at another point said like how her music is like the best ever, and she knows how good it is, but people aren't giving it a shot like when it didn't do as well as she thought it would. I will give her this. She is a good singer. She's a shit poet. But she's a good singer, and her music videos are creative, or like the ones that I've seen, like they're really catchy songs, but she's no Ariana Grande. And she also said that Trisha caused her to lose her record deal or something like that.
Only blaming other people for her own shit.
Oh yeah, blaming everybody. And then like recently, or when that article came out around the same time, Jesse Smiles, who used to be best friends with Gabby, and I think they even lived together before, Jesse ended up releasing a recording, a video of her talking to Gabby last year about their issues. And because Jesse used to date Curtis Lepore, who was another Viner, and he had raped her. And Gabby happened to see this guy at a party, and then like Gabby says that he came up to her and said, "Hey, I just want to tell you my side of the story." And she was like, "Okay." And then Jesse's like, why would you listen to him? Just say, "No, thank you, sir. Fuck off." And she's like, "Well, I was going to defend you. I figured I was going to defend you, but when he told me the story, it was like, oh, this is the same exact story that Jesse tells." And she was like, "Why are you even talking about this?" And Gabby was basically eventually was asking for an apology from Jesse. And a lot of people were calling Gabby a rape apologist because Gabby also tweeted out something um, like I'm allowed to have friends. I think she said that to Jesse actually, but she's
a drama queen and a bitch.
Yeah, very much so. And so yeah, she's making this whole series. It's 8 or 10 parts, I don't know, just trying to talk shit about everybody. And the thing is she that whole meme of her last year being high school fucking bullies. She's acting like a bully herself because Gabby, during that phone call, Gabby had told Jesse that she wanted a public apology from her.
For what? Again, it's
for her credibility and everything going down after the whole Curtis thing.
That's not her. Again, because it's hey, at this point, I don't know how to respond to that because again, you can't blame if it's you that caused your own credibility to fail. It's not other people's fault for it. So stop blaming other people for shit that you have done to yourself.
She's also known for plagiarizing jokes. And one of her response videos is because one of them was a Bo Burnham quote. And she's like, "Oh, I'm the biggest fan of Bo Burnham. I didn't, it wasn't intentional." If you were his biggest fan, then how would you have not known that that was his quote or his joke? And it wasn't just Bo Burnham that she took from, but she could never just admit that she was in the wrong. Yeah. And so when she told Jesse she wanted a public apology, or they can handle things legally. And Jesse's like, "Okay, well, we'll handle things legally, but I'm not going to give you an apology." And so she's like, "How about this? We just not talk about one another anymore. And, so we don't have to so the fans don't have to get involved." And Gabby responds, "No, I want to get the fans involved."
That's ridiculous.
Because they're the ones that are hurt by all this too.
And that's another thing. It's especially when it comes to private drama, keep it private. Don't make it public. Because in the end, it just makes you look bad.
And they both recorded. They both knew that they were filming. But Jesse had no intention of releasing it until that article came out. But and then the most recent thing with her was that do you remember? I'm sorry to her mother. I'm just bringing it up to provide context. But do you remember the murder of Bianca Devins?
Could you remind me?
It took place, I believe, last summer. She was killed by an older man. I honestly can't remember the fine details of it, but she was murdered. Okay, and so I guess, well, Gabby, a year or two ago, I think it was 2 years ago, made a video how to dress like an e-girl or how to turn into an e-girl. And she was scrolling through a website or something like that. She was scrolling on something on her computer, and there's a picture, and she had said, "Oh, I have that same top, good on her." But that picture happened to be Bianca.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of uproar because of this, which I think is fucking stupid. because they were saying that she was exploiting a dead girl. But she had no idea. She was just saying that I have the same top. And then even Bianca's family made a video saying like that they weren't offended by what Gabby did. Like, she's not in the wrong. I think it's people that like drama channels and tea channels that are exploitative, not her. Leave her alone. And so now, or get to present day, she makes a video saying of certain like tea channels or drama channels, like Angelica Oles, believe she mentioned Repzilla, and a few others I cannot remember. But she said that these people were causing Bianca's family like turmoil, and that they want a public apology from all those people that she mentioned.
Good luck with that. And
so one of them, hold on. So one of Angelica Oles went and contacted Bianca's mother and asked or apologized to her. Ready to Glare even made a video. And Bianca's mother responded back to Angelica saying, like, I have no idea who you are. I mean, you have no reason to apologize to me. So Gabby lied, saying that the family wanted a public apology, and specifically screaming out Angelica Oles' name, but her mother didn't even know her.
Yeah.
And I believe that's the most recent drama with Gabby. It's just, wow. And I think I brought it up before, but there was, I guess, one of her Patreon streams or OnlyFans, I can't remember, where I guess she was just like sitting in her room eating watermelon and crying, not saying anything. And I guess like there are people watching this and they're like, oh, she's so in her or like her ED right now. And like that was inspiring and beautiful to see her go through that. Like, it was so inspirational.
How is that inspirational?
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
I feel like several of my brain cells died by that remark.
So inspirational.
Up, there goes 2 more.
Nope. Fuck. Let's get to an even number. But yeah, that's all I have.
Shit like that.
Go ahead.
Shit like that, or like hearing that, where it says, "Oh, it's inspirational with her ED." Makes you want to drink.
Not me, but it does make me want to get high.
Hearing stupid shit like that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check out from reality for a bit.
I think that's what she's been doing for a while. But she's been attributing everything to ADHD. And she even like shows like little screenshots of like Wikipedia articles about ADHD. And like anytime she was talking about certain shit, she was like, well, here are the symptoms for adult ADHD, blah, 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 blah. She's like, I have that, and that. And see, this is what makes me do this.
But yeah.
What are you laughing at?
I was laughing at the comment from Biotech.
From Nanovapor?
Yeah.
Because Hansen is inspirational. He makes you want to write a check. I haven't written a check in, years.
I haven't written a check in years.
Yeah. I mean, JR still has a checkbook, but...
I have a checkbook somewhere, but I don't use it.
I mean, my checkbook per se is my phone, because I have a specific calculator app, because I like to keep track of purchases, because not all the time are like my bank app. They go
through immediately.
Yeah. So I like to keep track of it myself.
I myself it's once I have like all my groceries, bought and like for the week, and besides, a few purchases, I rarely use my account. and then I can kind of keep track of, because usually like it takes a couple of days for everything to fully go through.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep track of, like, periodically check, like every day, check my account, but at the same time, make sure that, okay, nothing else is, showing up that's not supposed to.
So, lovely talk about our bank accounts. I figured because we have, what were the other topics that we were discussing? Oh, Bill Cosby. What was the other ones?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, and I wanted to add one. Ollie London.
I have no idea who that is.
The person that came out as Korean.
Oh! If you want to go there, okay.
Let's go.
Let's do that one last. Because that one will
Okay.
kind of fall into after what we talk about with Lord of the Rings.
Okay, cool.
All right, so Bill Cosby.
Cosby's out.
Yeah. So I'm trying to look it up, or I was looking it up, because from what I heard, at least from hearsay, he apparently got out due to a technicality when it comes down to the reason of him being convicted. So, by the way, the ironic thing is apparently, and I saw a tipster's video where Bill Cosby went on Twitter proclaiming his innocence.
Wait, who did?
Bill Cosby. I was innocent the entire time. Like, no, you fucking words.
Thank you. January 2019, larceny. February 2020, harassment. July 2021, arrested for withholding evidence. Wait, you're talking about
Hansen.
You're talking about Hansen. But there were how many women that came forward? I think there was like over 40.
Yeah, I think.
And I forgot what the technicality was for Cosby.
So I think the technicality was he wasn't supposed to get prison time if he came clean. But they still convict him anyways.
Oh, so he took like a plea deal or something, or?
Oh yeah.
So pleading guilty and then having a reduced sentence or lower sentence versus pleading not guilty and going through a trial.
I'm trying to look it up.
I don't know. I got it. There used to be an animated show that Nano Vapors comment Pill Cosby.
Okay, so why was he released? What happens now? Bill Cosby's conviction for sexual assault has been overturned by Pennsylvania's highest court after he served 2 years behind bars and is now set to walk out of prison a free man. Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled that Mr. Cosby should never have been charged in the case. The fuck? After reaching an agreement with a previous prosecutor. Okay, so there it is. Mr. Cosby, 83, had always denied any guilt and said he would rather serve the maximum sentence of 10 years than express remorse for the alleged 2004 incident that his accuser, Andrew Constant. The Temple University employee accused the Cosby Show actor actor of inviting her to his Pennsylvania estate for career advice, where she claims he drugged and sexually assaulted her. Cosby was arrested and charged in 2015, just days before the state's 12-year statute of limitations was set to expire, which kind of convenient in that sense. Like just before the statute of limitations expires. The court was now. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just saying that was kind of convenient.
Oh no! I was cleaning up Ash's litter, so I just sat back down.
The court has now ruled that Montgomery County District Attorney Kevin Steele was obligated to keep to an agreement made by his predecessor, Bruce Castor, to not charge Mr. Cosby when he later gave potentially incriminating testimony in a disposition as part of Miss Constance's civil lawsuit. Justice Dave Wetch, writing for...
Civil suit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think there was a lawsuit as well.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Justice Dave Wetch, writing for a split court, said Mr. Cosby had relied on a previous prosecutor's decision not to charge him when he gave his disposition. The judge added that overturning Mr. Cosby's prosecution was the only remedy that comports with society's reasonable expectations of its elected prosecutors and our criminal justice system. During Mr. Cosby's first trial, which ended in a huge jury, or in a hung jury, the trial judge only allowed one other accuser to testify against him. But during the retrial, the judge allowed 5 other accusers to testify about incidents with Mr. Cosby during 1980s, or during the 1980s. The state Supreme Court ruled that the testimony tainted the trial, even though a lower court had found it appropriate. The court says that Mr. Cosby cannot be retried on the same charges. Jeopardy. I'm trying to finish the last bit. Can't mess with
double jeopardy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got my... But before I continue, I got my dogs cowering under my desk because there's freaking fireworks going off.
Oh.
I'm gonna show you guys real quick for a second. I got Eclipse here. I'm gonna turn on my selfie light too, so you guys can see. Wait, there she is.
Aw.
She's literally skittish right now.
Yeah.
Right now, she's huddling under my desk because she hates the fireworks.
Does she get like that if you ever have a storm?
To some extent. Hold on, let me fix that. My hair is freaking terrible.
You don't even... I mean, I'm not showing my camera or not showing my face.
Yeah.
Like, mine's way worse.
Yeah, freaking Clips, you are an old dog. She's shivering like crazy. Like, watch. I put her down, and she's gonna start. Like her, she's panting right now. Oh yeah, I can't. If I were to,
you're good. I get the idea.
When she gets scared, she pants.
Yeah, Daisy does too.
Yeah, there she is. There she goes. When she gets scared, she starts panting.
It's also hot as shit on 4th of July. I mean, way hotter over where you're at, but still. But yeah, Daisy would always hide in a corner and she'd be panting like crazy.
Evie.
Yeah, Ash doesn't really seem to care too much.
I don't know where Bambi is or Maple's at. I think she's hiding under one of the beds.
Wait, how old is Eclipse?
Oh my gosh, I think 15 years going.
Oh wow.
Or actually might be older.
Really?
Lord. Yeah.
Especially for a small dog, damn.
Well, it's like, comparably, larger dogs only last maybe 5, 6, 10 years. Whereas
depending on the breed.
Yeah, and then older or smaller dogs, surprisingly, are like double that amount of years.
I know cats live longer than dogs. But like Daisy, she was a golden retriever and she passed away just a couple months before her 14th birthday. And then Maggie, who was another golden retriever, she was 12 or 13, I think. And then those are the only 2 dogs I've ever owned. But
well, after this recording, I'm going to give them a TREAT. I can't say the word, otherwise I'll have Maple start barking.
Yeah,
like crazy.
Daisy would do that too. She was smart. She was so smart.
But I
love those loofah dogs.
Yeah, right now I have Eclipse and Evie huddling under my desk right now. They're not happy.
Is this Stevie's first 4th of July, or?
It is, actually. Wait. Yes, I think it is. Because I think I got her after no, I don't think so. Because I think I got her last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was around August.
I was gonna say let me look it up, but unfortunately I can't.
Yeah, I think it was after August. So yeah, this is her first 4th of July.
So is it her first with you, or just first in general?
Just first in general. She's about a year old.
Okay.
But going back, reading to this, because so he can't be retried when an unconditional charging decision is made publicly and with the intent to induce action and reliance by the defendant, and when the defendant does so to his detriment, and in some instances detriment. I don't know, I said it like that. And in some instances upon the advice of counsel, denying the defendant the benefit of that decision is an affront to fundamental fairness, particularly when it results in a criminal prosecution that was foregone for more than a decade. The High Court ruled for these reasons Cosby's conviction and judgment of sentence are vacant, and he is discharged. Mr. Cosby, who has made an estimate of $400 million during his career, could be free from prison later on Wednesday, which I think that already occurred. Yeah,
it
already
did.
occurred. Pennsylvania has been one of the 15 states that do not pay inmates any money for wrongful convictions, which in other states can be as much as $50,000 per year of incarceration. But in February, Governor Tom Wolf included a proposal to pay the same figure in his 2021 to 2022 budget plan. The Associated Press contributed to this report. And I looked this up on Yahoo News.
Gosh, I haven't used Yahoo in forever. I used to. The only time I ever used it was email or playing pool.
I wasn't paying attention to where the article came from, but it was the first thing that popped up. So yeah, they got him out. They got him out because of a.
Can you send me the link to it?
Yeah. Of a
or you can just
technicality.
Put it in the chat.
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, just put it in the chat, and then if I want to.
But yeah, so
I can just go there.
Unfortunately, with everything going on, he got out of a technicality.
The one thing that I said on Discord yesterday was that, I mean, if he weren't a celebrity, I highly doubt that he would have gotten off.
Probably not.
I mean, especially when there was allegedly 40 victims of his. And he even admitted himself that he gave a woman Quaaludes.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Back in the 70s, I believe. But people don't want to see, a lot of people don't want to see, a beloved figure turning out to be
a criminal.
Yeah.
Even though that's what he is.
Yeah.
But me personally, because I totally forgot about Bill Cosby till after this initial thing, or before this initial thing. So I don't have much thoughts on that topic, or at least when it comes down to him being. I mean, when it comes down to the situation of him being convicted. I know it's a lot. I can only say that there's going to be quite a few people that are going to be a little bit pissed off.
A little bit.
Yeah, more likely people trying to break into his house and picket his fence, wanting to burn down his property.
Yeah. Well, there are people out there that believe justice wasn't served in this case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have too much to say on the issue either. I don't think he should have been released, but
yeah. I'll just say it was an iffy situation.
Yeah.
It was a very, very iffy situation.
So tell me about Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. So I got to pull up this article. I should have had it. Yeah, I'll share the screen too. Actually, I might. If anything, are you on your computer right now?
Mm-hmm. You want me to read it?
Yeah, I'll have you read it. So I don't know how to set this one up. And
what do you mean?
As my computer tries to crap out. I put it in my favorites. I put it under the folder "Stupid Polygon Articles."
It's okay. If you look at my internet browser, if you look at my bookmarks, everything's labeled crap.
Yeah,
it's like that for every single folder I have.
I post it in the admin text chat for our Discord, but the article is literally called. Now I'm going to say I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I can blame Peter Jackson's directing on this, because when it comes down to it, I can kind of see the confusion, but I wouldn't want to just immediately assume, especially near the end of the movie. But anyways, Polygon article, queer readings of the Lord of the Rings and not accidents. I just have to make sure to
hide my bookmarks.
And then the article, the subtext is following breadcrumbs to find ourselves in Tolkien's history and his fiction, written by Molly Oystertag, and this was released on June 30th. Now, I want to mention something. So I think, and if I remember correctly, this was started off by, I think, a joke that quite a few critics made, with the possible subtext of Frodo and Sam being attracted to each other. And again, you partially have to blame some of the directing involving Peter Jackson's film. But
I got it pulled up.
All right, here I'm
going to move you over here to the other window or other monitor. There we go.
But yeah,
and then
so
I will go ahead and quickly put this in the chat. All right, did you already put? Oh, you put the other one.
So apparently, and from what
you dang.
Okay. Now, before we start, I think I should mention the fact that originally, to a large degree, especially when it comes down to like Tolkien was a Christian. You know what I mean? At least he was Christian. He was also a part of the military, and I think the only reason they're trying to pull this shit now is because, well, he's dead and he can't say anything.
That's probably too big for me. Okay, that's all right. Let's see here. Okay, so the editor's note states that this essay contains discussion of homophobia and mention of suicide. Is this a long article, by the way, or no? It is kind of long. I don't know if I want to read the whole thing, but let's see here. So this is an essay. I was 12 in 2003 when The Return of the King was in theaters. How old was I in 2003? I was 17. And Frodo kissing Sam goodbye as he left Middle Earth made me sob like my heart was being ripped out, without understanding why. Outside of the safe darkness of the theater, in the mortar-like wasteland of middle school, the movies were synonymous with the favorite insult of the time: gay.
Now, I want to mention, because I don't know how to talk about this, because there is that one scene where Frodo is saying goodbye to all of his friends and kissing Sam on the top of the head on near and the last bit of his goodbye. One, I don't think that's him being gay.
Not at all.
I think if anything, I mean, especially when it came to the relationship between Sam and Frodo, I always considered it as like two brothers. At least that's what I thought. Like, even though, and I think they are cousins now that I think about it.
They're cousins.
Yeah. So it's like, if anything, they're family. It's not.
Yeah, that's how I viewed that. It would be more of like a familial thing rather like.
Yeah, it's not
so
like
that's what is this accusing or writing?
They're trying like with this article, they're trying to make the argument that Sam and Frodo were gay the entire time, even though, in case people failed to or forgot the moment where Sam married his sweetheart Rose and had several kids with her.
Sorry, I am scrolling down. I'm kind of looking at the highlights of this. Let's see here. It seems like more like a fanfic.
That's what I like. That's what I think too. But they I guess they nitpick a few portions of the article or of the book.
Well, the first thing that struck me is that it said it was an essay. So I'm assuming they're purposely trying to make this point. But I don't know if it's more of like an alternate interpretation. But let's see here. It's nice that they even cite stuff too, or kind of. Let's see here. They're talking about social class and how Frodo and Sam have. Let's see here. Well, Sam would be achieving upward mobility if you got with Frodo. Samwise Gamgee, my dear Hobbit. Indeed, Sam, my dearest Hobbit, friend of friends. Oh yeah, that's so gay. Do you remember? Did I show those videos on stream before? Do you remember the "That's So Gay" campaign?
I partially remember.
I think I've mentioned it before because I also mentioned when I was in grad school for sociology, there was one book that I had to read called "Dude, You're a Fag." And I remember bringing that to Olive Garden back when I used to, serve there. And my manager, I got in trouble for that book because they thought that it was like homophobic, but it was just more of, it's a book or an ethnography where CJ Pascoe visits this Southern Californian high school. I can't remember the name of the high school, but she basically studies masculinity amongst the high school students. And back in around that time, because that book came out in 2007. Around that time, they started making commercials, like the "That's So Gay" campaign, because they would show like people being like, "Oh yeah, look at this top. Do you like it?" And the other girl's like, "No, that's so gay." And then Hilary Duff pops out and is be like, "You shouldn't say that." So I remember her specifically in one of the commercials. Whoopi Goldberg was in another. I think I can't remember. There was more celebrities, but it was just basically saying like, "Stop saying that's so gay." Not to out my brother. My brother sometimes would say that too. And, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I probably said it in the past, but let's see here.
I guess it's just to try to.
Okay, so he says, "I love him,"
but that doesn't
mean
that doesn't mean he's gay.
Yeah, it could be a platonic love or familial love.
Because again, as it's stated in the books, their family.
And then here they quote,
and at
"It's
this
probably
point,
most moved by the scene when Frodo goes to sleep on Sam's breast. On a different night, Sam comforts Frodo with his arms and body." But it says up here that Frodo was grievously injured. Sam taking care of him. So I would not see that as homoerotic.
neither would I.
Tolkien describes Sam as a small creature defending its mate.
No.
The way it's written, I can see where they got the interpretation of that, but that's I guess I first read it as mate, as in like friend.
Yeah.
Let's see. They kiss at least 4 times. Another time it's specified they don't kiss, which has interesting implications.
How?
Okay.
I know people are gonna think you're a bigot for not understanding this. And like, no. I've glimpsed through the books and I've watched the movies, and I don't see a freaking a relationship between Frodo and Sam.
I mean, it's so, like I said, this seems like they said it was an essay, so just an interpretation of it. I don't see. I mean, I don't agree with
I don't
their
agree
analysis, but it's kind of the beauty of literature and media.
Well,
in the sense
another
of being able to interpret it and be creative and have a thoughtful discussion on it, or try to argue one side of things.
something I guess a lot of people brought up too was apparently this came out on the crux of I guess of how there's possibly going to be a Lord of the Rings show coming out soon. And some people and there has been that sort of interest of Sam, and even though it's not in the books and it's not implied in the freaking movies, that people want that relationship between Frodo and Sam. And some people are kind of worried that it's forcing certain beliefs.
I mean, so what if they were? And well, also they're cousins, so that would be incestual.
Yeah, so it'd be incest, which would be fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it.
But and it's like,
I haven't read the books in so long.
My
JR he took a Lord of the Rings class in high school.
Who did? Oh, JR.
Yeah, he was also my English teacher in 11th grade, and I had him the same year as JR had him, because JR was a year ahead of me. And I remember finding his essay, because it's all about Lord of the Rings. They would like, he had one side of the wall completely covered, a map of, why am I forgetting the place or where it takes place? The Shire.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would play like the PS2 games during class. It was fucking cool. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were saying?
So there's been a certain thing when it comes down to situations, especially with characters that have already been established. Some people, others, I will admit that I look at some of these concerns and I'm kind of on the same boat. As much as I'm motivated to see more gay or trans characters, with characters that are already established, it's, I don't know if it's damaging or if anything, just kind of discouraging to force certain attributes or certain situations with characters that are already established.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if it's they're forcing it. I just see it as an alternative interpretation of the content that they are interpreting. I would go by what Tolkien,
or if anything, too,
believed.
Only focusing on the sexuality of the character to try to make it seem like that's the only thing that people should go see for that
Kind of like
series.
how later after, like, people were saying Dumbledore was gay,
Yeah,
but not right away.
I heard about that, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
As I've said before, I have never seen any Harry Potter films. I know very little. The trailer I saw for the new Harry Potter game looked kind of cool, though.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of curious about that.
And I don't know if they have a gameplay trailer for the I forgot what the game is fucking called, but the one that I mentioned before, that they're making of Gollum as the central character.
We have not seen much of that yet.
Okay, so yeah, you do remember, because I know Aden was surprised when I brought it up, but
I'm
it
kind of
looked
wondering.
kind of cool with the trailer, but there was no gameplay, so I don't know what kind of game it's gonna be.
I'm kind of wondering what
If it's like
what they
Shadow
plan
of
on
War,
doing
then
with
I'm like,
that.
eh.
I mean, okay, so a good example when it comes to this situation, and I don't want to talk about it too much because I've already talked about it briefly with a video that I'm planning on uploading, is a situation with the recent Pixar movie Luca. Now,
Oh yeah, you were venting about that on Discord.
yeah, so again,
I don't believe I responded. I believe Sage did, though.
Yeah, he did. He responded. So for those who don't know, Luca is, I mean, if you haven't seen the movie yet.
I had no idea what it was until you mentioned it.
So it's Pixar's recent movie of a kid who, it's basically like kind of a retelling of something similar to the Little Mermaid, where this little kid that's a sea monster that is close to Italy comes to the surface and kind of learns about the world. With the help of another boy that he meets, Alberto, as well as a human girl, Julia. Now, in certain articles, people were upset when the director himself mentioned the fact that the characters themselves, Luca and Alberto, were not gay. And people were trying to force that idea that they were, when in reality, one, the director had no intention of the characters being gay, and two, he even said himself that this was supposed to be a time before kids are supposed to be even thinking about those thoughts about relationships or sexuality. Mm-hmm. But people were so bent out of shape trying to shit on the movie, trying to force the ideas of this idea of Luke and Alberta being gay, as well as trying to shame the director for not succumbing to that sort of belief system.
I am sorry. I'm trying to do 3 things at once, too.
No, understandably.
I got some grades to catch up on. But, all right. As you were saying, I mean, I don't get it. I don't, just like, it kind of reminds me of your biggest idol in life, Anita, freaking out about wanting a female Link. And then when they made, what was the character's name?
Linkle.
Yes. And it was like, no, it's not enough. Just shush.
I mean, and then well, it's like another thing too is like, especially when like and actually that actually brings up another example where several articles, like after we got Link in the the Sheikah, no, not Sheikah, I'm forgetting what it's called, damn it.
What, the Sheikah Slate?
The Gerudo outfit. People were now interpreting it, or trying to force the interpretation that Link was gay the entire time. Now, granted, you can have your own interpretation, but you can't judge, or you can't. I'm gonna just guess, because a lot of people had this idea where they were the ones that were right. They cannot be wrong about the situation, and in that so I'm going to say this, just final thoughts about it. You can have your own interpretation, but don't get mad when somebody disagrees with you.
Exactly. I fully agree.
Which unfortunately a lot of people on that side does.
Yeah. Hold on.
And don't try to force certain ideas when it comes. I mean, me personally, I don't think you should force ideas or certain, like, try to or change a character to I guess subscribe to a certain criteria when it comes to character or character traits, and then have that as your only good thing about them.
Yeah. Like a one note.
Yeah. So I think I said this in a recent video, is when I play a game or play a movie or watch a movie or read a comic book, their sexuality means jack shit to me. Their skin color means jack shit to me.
Right.
What matters is the characters themselves and the journey that they go through. Not to mention the other characters that they end up, interacting with, the story, the world that they are placed in, and the challenges that they face. That's what matters. Not their sexuality, not their skin color. Because in the end, that is the last thing that I think about. I could care less if they're trans. I could care less if they're gay. I could care less if they were, a white, black, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter to me.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Once again.
And I'm sure somebody will say, oh, by the way, if somebody can stop, I'm just going to say it. Somebody can, when it comes down to that whole Rob is racist meme, people could shut the fuck up now.
Yeah. And since I think that person might still watch us, leave us alone. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but just stop. It's unhealthy at this point.
Hey, we try to treat everybody equally, regardless of how stupid their arguments are. But
it's just frustrating because it's like there's nothing else that we can do.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fact that they're still dwelling on us, which
or more dwelling on me and one thing.
Well, dwelling on me too. But, and I mean this with all respect, dude, just, I know you watch our content. Just please, I'm asking you, leave us alone. And plus, one look at what you've written on your page, it shows that you have no clue why we feel the way we do.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, but I wish this person all the best. I'm not trying to be mean, not trying to call them out, not going to mention names, but because I know they were expecting, because I normally would respond privately, but yeah, that's it.
You got to show me this page because I haven't even heard of this till now.
What page?
The page you were talking about with that person talking shit.
Oh. Yeah, I'll show you later.
Okay. So let's talk about this. What was the person's name?
Ollie London.
Yes, and
I don't know too much about this person. I've just been seeing thumbnails about it, and the thumbnails tell me a lot as it is. But I believe this is the person that tried to get so much plastic surgery to make themselves look like Jimin from BTS.
So they pulled a Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, but worse.
Oh my god.
And
talk shit about me all you want. That movie was fucking hilarious.
What do you mean, you people?
freaking Robert Downey Jr. What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
Yeah, I believe one of the like a still from that movie is actually in the textbook that I used for my social classes.
Oh God.
X-Men Apocalypse is in there, and so is Bayonetta.
Neat.
It's kind of part of the reason why I use that book.
But apparently, a lot of people in the trans community were upset about this too.
Well, because he came out as Korean.
Yeah.
And it says that he's transracial, which that term is used incorrectly.
And I kind of feel like that this was kind of like in stance of what people, like a lot of people were doing, where people were not to shit on trans people, but
I get the argument that, well, it's just like being transgender.
Yeah, and then, well, it's like not only that, but people were also trying to claim that they were trans age and crap.
Yep.
And it's just like immediately, and people can just like a person can just say that they are trans, and do whatever they want. Again, not trying to shit on trans people.
But transracial or trans-ethnic, the actual definition of that is when a child that is being adopted, the adopting family is of a different race than them.
Okay.
But people are starting to popularize and redefine transracial as identifying as another race. Like gender, they are social constructs, but like when I tell my students this, and hopefully this makes sense when I say it, because I'm probably going to butcher it since it's been a while, but oh shit, now I just forgot it again. Oh no, I lost my train of thought. Oh shit. But anyway, the argument is that it's no different than transgender. But okay, so what I remember what I was gonna say. Like I tell my students, like if somebody's going in for an ultrasound, what can they glean from that ultrasound appointment? Is the baby healthy? But more importantly, like the sex.
Yeah.
You cannot tell race in utero, but it's yes, race and gender are social constructs, but it's not. It's the fact that people are taking labels a little too far.
Yeah.
Or misappropriating them. Or like Rachel Dolezal, who claimed to be Black and was the president of the local NAACP chapter in Washington State, but like claiming that they've been oppressed, their family's been oppressed. No, because her family came out and was like, no, like our family is all white. So it's like you're trying to make you're oppressing yourself, I guess.
That just reminded me of that case with this one CNN writer or reporter who started working for the Young Turks, who apparently was white, but he claimed himself to be Black. And in fact, when he was introduced by Cenk from the Young Turks, they darkened the image of him.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
So they're doing digital blackface?
Yep.
I stopped watching. That's so funny because I was just thinking about that before we went live.
What, the Young
Turks?
The
Young Turks. Yeah, because I
don't watch them. They're
I don't watch them. I subscribed to them once and then I immediately unsubscribed after 20 minutes because more like a day, but after 20 minutes I stopped watching their videos. Just because they post so goddamn much. They post so much.
Well, I was gonna say they're fucking obnoxious.
That too. But
also, some of the messages they make are some of the messages that they tell on their videos, especially when it comes to people that they don't disagree or agree with, are not the best. Especially when it comes down to one of them publicly shaming, people that don't subscribe to their own logic.
And
Also,
by the way, I'm not meaning to come across, if I come across as like transphobic, that's not my intention.
No, because I think, as I say before, we're not trying to shit on anybody that's trans. We try to treat everybody equally, regarding of whether or not we agree or disagree with their logic.
I just think that some people out there consider this to be like a trend, like it's trendy to do, giving yourself an alternative label. But why? I just don't get the issue with labels in the first place. Like, why do you need to? But I mean, that could be part of one's identity, and they take more value in that than I do.
Well, I think
that's fair, but still,
I think if anything, too, it's a lot of people, especially a lot of people in the trans community, probably take offense to it, considering the fact that there are several people that end up just using the trans label and not, especially for those who had put the work into it, see these people and just, call themselves trans just so they can do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, take a look at, oh gosh, what's that person's name? The fuckhead from Canada that was being creepy at the salon.
Jessica Yaniv?
Yeah, them. Jessica Yaniv. The creepy fucker.
I remember seeing.
By the way, that's not.
I think. Go ahead.
That's not me being transphobic. That's me mentioning the fact that Jessica Yaniv was actually a creepy fucker and was proven to be a creepy fucker.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to give yourself a label, if that makes you feel more comfortable, then fine. I mean, it's not harming anybody, but I just don't understand the whole, like, in my opinion, is if this is the same person that I feel horrible because it's like I'm basing this on what little that I've seen. And so I'm ill prepared and that's unprofessional. But it's just like it seems like it's almost like a trendy to be oppressed or put yourself in a position of oppression. Like kind of like what I mentioned, like with the example of Rachel Dolezal.
Well, I mean,
I don't view it as the same as being transgender. That's all. But
I was gonna say at this point, especially in situations, it's better to be oppressed or a victim rather than emboldening yourself and being strong.
Wait, what? Who says it's wrong?
Well, I mean, that's the mentality at this point when it comes down to dealing with situations. It's better that you're a victim rather than actually, being a strong individual.
Hold on. I want to look up Ollie London real fast because I want to see if that's the person that I'm thinking of, the one that I've seen videos of going through several plastic surgeries. I think he was the guy that wanted to be Jimin. Speaking of which, TMZ said, or headline, Ollie London says BTS obsession isn't reason for identifying as Korean. Oh, goodness. Let's see here. I just love the culture.
I love the culture of Japan, but that doesn't mean I'm going to transition to being Japanese.
You can be appreciative of the culture, but you don't have to transform your body.
No.
To that. And I would, if I were Korean, I'd be a little offended that he did that.
Kind of would too.
Let's see here. They identify as non-binary. And I mean, okay, I'll put it this way too. If somebody has an alternative identity that they want to go by or they feel more comfortable by, and I'm speaking with them, I'll call them I'll be respectful and call them however they want to be identified as. But there are certain people that take this a little too far. And I'm trying real hard not to come off as transphobic because that's not my intent whatsoever. I just think that this is frustrating to see this individual. It's kind of funny because the picture that everyone shows in their thumbnails is of them right after surgery. So their face is super swollen.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Here, let me go ahead and pull this up so people can see. There you go. If you want to share that.
Sure.
I'm not going to play the video, but this is who they are trying to be.
Trying to look like.
Yeah. Jimin from BTS.
That's what they look like after the surgery?
Yeah. Influencer is identified as Korean after going under the knife a whopping 18 times. And surgery, plastic surgery is extremely popular in Korea.
I can only imagine how much that would have cost.
Yeah. Well, because like getting like double eyelid surgery, to fix the monolid, which is very common in Asian cultures or, amongst Asians. And having a double eyelid, like kind of having like a crease there, like that's considered beautiful. Same with like lightening your skin. In Asia, it's considered of higher status if you are pale. If you are tan, it indicates that you're likely a manual laborer, so working class. But a lot of like K-pop groups, their agents and managers have them get plastic surgery in order to be more marketable.
Yeah.
Whether that be the double eyelid surgery, cheek filler, Botox. And this is what Ollie looked like before their transition. There's Rachel Dolezal. They were inspired by Rachel Dolezal. Okay, this article tells me very little. Just it's the same. Okay, well, Ollie tells us they worship Jimin, the BTS singer, like a god and inspire to be like him in every single detail. Their transition is really more about a love for everything that makes up Korea. The food, the people, and the lifestyle.
I mean, with that remark, I kind of feel like he has limited knowledge of it. Because I
remember watching the videos on him, like they're on YouTube, and he was just like, "Oh my god, I want to look like Jimin," and like he's meeting his friends. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have another round of surgeries." And they're like, "Why? Wait,
Well, it's like,
and he's like, "Because I want to be Jimin."
Yeah, but here's the thing: you may look like Jimin, but you're not going to be Jimin.
He does not look like Jimin at all.
Well, regardless, by the end of it, and he has this hyper analyzed idea of what the Korean culture is like, and it's like more likely you're not going to be a pop star. I'm not saying that to be a dick, but I
wouldn't want to be a pop star considering the treatment that they go through.
Yeah, especially since their leader considers them as cancer. But going further than that, it's not just the pop stars. It's pop star life isn't the only thing that's present in countries like North Korea. There's other situations or lifestyles.
You're saying North Korea, but
or Korea.
We're referring to South Korea.
Oh,
South Korea is where, I mean, North Korea citizens don't even know, or they can't listen to music or anything outside of North Korea.
So I think if anything, this decision, again, not to sound like a dick, might be ill-made, because he may not have the fullest understanding of what he's doing or what he's following.
And to be clear, like, if you want to get plastic surgery, go for it. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to go under the knife. I mean, there are certain things that I really don't like about myself or my body, but to each their own. I mean, I'm not going to hate on anyone getting surgery, but I've got to wonder how much this all cost. And I don't remember all the surgeries they had. I don't think they were the one that went to like some like backstreet doctor or surgeon because like regular or general surgeons or whatever plastic surgeons refuse to do certain procedures on them. No. Sorry, that was the human Barbie doll.
Oh yeah.
Where she got surgery. I can't remember. I think it was someplace in Western Europe, but she had a couple of her ribs removed. So her waist was tinier, like a Barbie.
Good Lord.
And, other surgeons weren't going to touch that because there's no benefit for it other than making your waist look smaller. And so they have to wear a corset for life now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, their body is not going to be able to sustain itself because of missing ribs. God, I can't even think. It makes my ribs hurt just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Gosh. Did you see the trailer, by the way, for Ghost of Tsushima, director's cut?
I actually made a video that I was.
You did?
Yeah, I recorded a video.
Is it already up on the channel?
Not yet.
Okay, now I'm not an ass. I'm not good. I'm not an asshole. Because I was gonna feel really bad if you said, "Yeah, I made a video on it."
Not. Yeah, I haven't uploaded it yet.
I will definitely be buying it.
Oh, I think I said that myself. I will definitely. I mean, this will probably definitely be a buy.
We still gotta play Legends.
It's funny. I actually joked about that. I said, I know a certain somebody's going to be mad at me because we have not played the multiplayer
yet. Not mad, just disappointed.
But I think if anything, if I can continue what I've done so far for the game, especially for the director's cut, I am more likely going to just continue off of my save for the PS4 because I'm on a buy for the PS5.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that save data can transfer from PS4 to PS5.
It does.
Okay, because if anything, I'm going to continue where I left off, so I can do the DLC or at least do the next section of the story that they talk about in the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if we were to play Legends together, you had to go through the tutorial for the 4 classes, which doesn't take long to do. It takes you maybe like 15 minutes.
Okay.
But I liked the fact that it said new story and like a new area to explore.
How long is the story for the multiplayer?
They go in waves.
Oh.
So you go through a storyline, you go through waves, and then you have to earn like enough credits from fighting in those waves to unlock the other levels. Because they get progressively harder and harder. They start off easy, but they get harder. But each wave or each round or whatever isn't all that long.
Okay. Oh.
I've only played it that one time, and it was fun, but it would have been better playing with a friend because no one was talking back. And they were usually saving my ass, healing me because I kept dying or kept getting knocked down because you get like a kind of like a second wind kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
But I think I played as the assassin class. I thought that was really, I wasn't planning on it at first, but I liked that class. And so I have to continue playing. If I want to continue where I left off in Legends, I have to play as that assassin because otherwise any other class doesn't have enough points for that area. It's like, because you get armor and stuff that you can customize, and it has certain benefits for, typical RPG shit. But yeah, I just saw that trailer yesterday. I think I even showed it. Put it in. Sometimes we'll just send or post links in Discord when I haven't even watched the videos myself and just saw the thumbnail and the title. I'm like, hey, this is interesting. but I wonder if it's going to cost more than $59.99.
Probably.
I'd want to make a Ghost of Tsushima controller. I'm still waiting on my ship from eBay so I can make or assemble my controllers back together. Because I'm waiting for, I have a shell coming that it's black, but it has a lightning bolts in it, and they're clear. So I'm going to put the LED kit to that, so it'll look like, it lights up, and that's going to be, and that's, I had that Zenitsu touchpad sticker or decal made for it, and then I have clear yellow buttons coming for the top of it, but I might put those on my DBZ controller because I've been making controllers or customizing controllers based on anime. Because I have the DBZ one is going to be Cell inspired, I guess, from what Aden and I were talking about before. But I'm not too, I feel like such a poser because I still haven't watched DBZ yet. But I'm making a DBZ controller. But I kind of did it for the meme. And plus, those decos were cool. But I was going to do that for a stream on the channel. But I felt bad because I still had grading to do. And so I don't like doing anything fun for myself if I have something to do that I need to get done.
Yeah.
I'm a little weird that way, but let's get rid of Ollie's face out of here.
So,
but yeah. And by the way, I got grading done.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was trying to be, that's why you would see me mute a lot too. But we covered a lot tonight.
Yeah. And we for the most part, besides the Gabby thing, we really stayed on the topics itself.
Yeah.
I know, so that
perfect stream.
as we go through new episodes, that's what I'm gonna try to do, where we stay focused on that one topic. Maybe deviate a little bit, but for the most part, stay on each topic until we're done.
Yeah. We'll see how well that works with all of us. Because I agree with you, but I just don't know. When it comes to implementation and action, it doesn't always work out the way that we initially planned.
True.
True. That's why, I try to keep us on topic, but I can get scatterbrained too. I'm like that in general, though, not just for the podcast. I was going to make that lightning controller a Novakast one. Because I was going to say touch or custom decal or touchpad decal for it based on one of your older designs for the logo, the channel logo.
Okay.
I have a couple of concepts, but I might still do that. It would look really cool.
It would.
But yeah, I have literally 4 controllers right now. I have that red one that I made turned it into Gyu from Demon Slayer. I've got the other one with metal thumbsticks next to me here. That one's gonna be either the DBZ one, but I was also thinking of making one of the controllers 3 wooden panels on it, and then the decal would be my logo, not the Novakast one, but my solo one for Twitch. But and then I got the red one. I've got that one. I've got one in a box that I got from Amazon that hasn't even been opened yet because I'm waiting on my eBay stuff. And then the 4th one is currently taken apart and in JR's workbench because I broke one of the cables for the adaptive triggers.
Nice.
And Jesus. And I ended up breaking 3 of the shells too, and I had to get replacements for those. But aside from that, I've actually gotten pretty good at doing custom installs. I did remove the decals from the actual console because I'm going to replace that. I just don't know what I plan on doing yet. It's an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Well, it's not too expensive. It's just I have fucking 4 controllers.
Yeah, I hear you.
but I plan on when I get my other stuff, when I assemble all the other controllers, I'm gonna reassemble that one and send it back. The broken one.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not a shit person. Oh, I need to finish Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart though, and I was gonna watch your video.
Yeah, was it part 4? I just premiered today, as well as part 3 of Ratchet and Clank to the 2016 reboot.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah, I've been watching your Let's Plays.
This week I got a chance to upload the first video for God of War.
Weren't there audio issues too with that, or
Not
was that
with
another video?
That one. That was I think another video.
Mm.
Can't think of which one it was.
Yeah, I can't either.
I freaking love God. I love the PS4 God of War game.
I think the PS5 does enhance it a little bit. I think.
It is gorgeous, and I'm playing it. And
can you tell the difference?
A little bit. It looks a little bit nicer. And I'm playing it. And by the way, I'm playing it on and I kind of joke about this because down the line I do want to get the upgrade to the Elgato, where it records 4K. But
the one that you have to actually put in the tower.
Yeah. But I'm basically got I'm recording at 1080p, 60 frames per second.
I need a new capture card because I can't believe mine just does not want to work at all. So weird.
Yep.
Like I tried hooking up my PS5 to it and it would not work. Or it would tell my computer would say like that the device malfunctioned. Which is a bummer. I mean, I have the one that you had first, or like your first capture card.
Yeah.
It's the HD 60S.
Yes.
But yeah, I just haven't had any good memories of using it. It's just a pain in the ass to try to get it to work. It works better on my Switch, but that's not really saying much.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to find a different capture card eventually. I'd like to update my my GPU before doing that, though.
Okay.
Because this PC has a GTX 970 in it, and my laptop, which is a Razer laptop, fucking expensive as shit. And Ash keeps like pawing at my screen because now her new laser pointer is my mouse cursor. Because I have it showing my bedroom on the projector, and she can get up on the top of the entertainment center, and she sees the mouse. If I had just sitting there, she'll immediately try to jump at it. She almost fucking fell the other day. I was gonna laugh my ass off, but yeah, she was actually doing that to your when I was watching Ratchet and Clank, as you were going through Savali. Trying to find that last gold bolt, which was making me frustrated watching you because I was like, I know where it is. Just let it go. You can't get it right now.
At this point, I was
can't
like,
get it now.
Yeah, because at this point, I'm like, I want to try. Like, you notice, like, for the first, I actually joked about you telling me that. One of my
did you?
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but I did joke about you telling me to let it go. But me personally, I wanted okay, I'm going to see how far I can go and to get everything.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, I'm like, I got most of it. But when I figured I couldn't get the last one, I quit.
Well, actually, you said didn't you get them all?
I think I might have. I can't remember.
Because I think the one that you were missing was the one in Savali was the one that you had to chase down a ship. And then I think
that was one of them.
Yeah, because it likes to run through all the tunnels and whatnot in the sand, and so you got to chase it and use your kind of like grappling hook or whatever to get onto it to get the bolt. But there
Yeah.
are certain worlds where, because I had a guide pulled up, because I encountered the same issue. And so I was just getting frustrated because I didn't want it to be like the lava area where you had to create or find all the telepathopus brains for the reboot.
Oh, that actually brings up when I played Ratchet and Clank, instead of going to that scientist, which by the way, that's Richard Horvitz, who plays the scientist in that. But quick rant. It's always interesting to like, especially with a voice actor that you like. It's always cool to immediately recognize the voice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
I didn't
anyways,
know who that was until you mentioned him.
Yeah, it was Horvitz. And then so instead of going to, I'm gonna just call him Horvitz. Instead of immediately going to Horvitz like the first or second time, because you have to go to a couple of times if you're when you're doing the quest, because he gives you several different prizes for collecting all the brains.
Yeah, I ended up. That's why I was so frustrated because there was 3 more that I had to find. And it was funny because I was watching Gerard's video on it, and he had the same issue. He's like, "Wait till you get the Map-O-Matic or whatever, and make it so much easier." I didn't. I fucking troll. I stuck it out.
You watch me. You watch my playthrough, and I think I have it up already. Yeah, you watch my playthrough, and I'm just going through everywhere, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the map, and areas that I didn't go to, I immediately pushed towards those areas, and I just got all of them.
Yeah, I had to look up a guide because I wasn't even near that area, because it's like towards the beginning of the world or the planet when you first get there.
Yeah,
it's off to the side, but not further in.
Oh, by the way, speaking of games, and pretty soon I'm gonna have to call it. Breath of the Wild getting a sequel.
I haven't seen that trailer. Was it good?
I'm just gonna say, I mean, there looks like there's gonna be some new enemies. There's this one interesting situation, like I guess new enemy where they have bokoblins that have strapped, I guess a camp on top of a Talos, which I thought was kind of neat. The area itself kind of looks more reminiscent, even though I haven't played Skyward Sword yet. It got me thinking of Skyward Sword.
That could probably be intentional since they're remaking it.
Well, so, yeah, because they're re-releasing Skyward Sword. So there's obviously a reason for that.
Never played it.
Never
played Twilight Princess either, and I have that Wolf Link amiibo.
Oh, I do too. Hold on. Oh, as I turn on my camera again, or turn on my light. See, we got it right here.
Yeah, I bought it specifically for Breath of the Wild.
I also got Revali.
Nice. Well, you got the 4-pack, didn't you?
Yeah, I got. No, I bought them individually.
Oh, really?
It was I think it was like a couple of dollars more. Urbosa, Misa, and Mifa? No, was it Mifa?
It's Mifa.
Yeah, and Daruk.
I like him. I was looking for a Ratchet and Clank pop, but the one I saw on Amazon was like $40.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm good. The last pop I bought was fairly recently. What one was it? Son of a bitch. What one was it? It's in my bedroom because my desk there, I have like an anime shelf.
Nice.
Gosh, I can't remember. It wasn't a pop figure. It was Eraserhead or Aizawa from My Hero Academia.
Oh, nice.
I can relate to him. He's a teacher who loves to sleep. But yeah, I was going to say I was about to call it too, so.
All right, so Well, everybody, thank you for those who come on, as well as for those who are probably going to watch the VOD after it's been public.
Yeah, you bastards. Just kidding.
You guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed our conversations. What are your thoughts on some of the things we talked about? Leave in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. This is Rob and MJ signing off. Have a good one and take care. Peace.
Peace.